Today we are happy to introduce to you Dr. Emīlija Veselova. She is one of our alumni, so she's one of our bright minds, young bright minds coming from our university as well, but she's an expert in emerging area of designing with nature, also known as more than human multi-species planet-centric design.
We live within these socio-ecological systems, and sometimes we forget maybe the ecological or the natural and environmental entities within them, but we need to recognize that this is what we live within, and that we need to consider all types of elements, including the natural elements and also the whole system. And why the whole system? Because sustainability is a property of a system. In its essence, sustainability is about a system being able to continue existing while also shifting and changing and maybe experiencing crises, but it continues to exist. This concept very much highlights that human needs and also the future generations are interdependent with the non-humans, with the natural environment and their future generations. So to have future generations of humans, we need future generations of nature's species, organisms. We need the future of the natural world. In sustainability science, kind of part of the research also looks into what are the root causes or some of the root causes that we could identify and address that have led to the sustainability crisis. And mindsets or worldviews are seen as some of those. So one of the root causes could be seen as that we as humans, we focus on our own wants and needs, while disregarding most, if not all, needs of the nature. So in anthropocentrism, it would view that we are morally responsible only towards humans, and there is, if anything, out there that we natural entities that are intrinsically valuable or they have a value in itself, we should value just for the sake that they exist. If we have to choose between valuing natural entities and humans still should be valued more highly and should be prioritized in moral decision-making. And then in non-anthropocentrism, there are also ideas, and there's quite varied ideas, that we are morally responsible towards some parts of nature. Some parts of nature are intrinsically valuable, and we should see them as equals in our moral deliberations or deciding what are good or bad acts towards it. Where I arrived after 6 years of research is that I think that we need to consider, and by consider, I also mean include, represent, design for non-human stakeholders in design processes. I believe that including them, representing them, showing that they also are present in the processes, we can start developing solutions, and by solutions I mean mostly products or services or urban settings where we align these things more with the kind of the reality of socio-ecological systems in which we live. So we start shifting from only designing for the human needs, or even maybe needs of the economy or needs of the technology, towards designing for the needs or the complexity and the interconnections within the socio-ecological systems. I hope I didn't go too long and that you still enjoyed the content of the lecture, and I would be very curious to hear your questions, but then also your reflections, ideas, perspectives of some of the questions that I asked you, but then also some of the reflections of how this relates to your work and kind of the project overall.